I made a mistake that my husband can't forgive. He didn't hit me. They didn't scold me either. But in a more cruel way. Tormented me for half my life. I'm a woman who has made mistakes. On the 5th year of our marriage, I was confused for a moment. Crossed the line with a male colleague. The night everything was exposed. I've written my will. Sitting on the sofa in the living room, shaking all over. I'm ready to endure everything. I thought Chan Jiangguo would beat me up. She point at my nose and call me a whore, and then divorce me. But he didn't. He was simply extremely calm. Pack all my clothes neatly. Then drive the car away. Bringing my daughter and me back to my parents' house. He did it in front of my parents. There's also the face of my grandparents. I revealed the fact that I was unfaithful. His tone was calm. Decent restraint. Didn't lose composure not once from start to finish. Finally, he handed over a piece of white paper. Let me write the guarantee myself. It's all clearly written in black and white. Behave properly in the future. Never commit such mistakes again. If there's even the slightest overstep again, voluntarily leave the marriage with no assets. Give up custody of one's daughter. I wrote the guarantee with trembling hands. At that moment, my parents breathed a sigh of relief. They think Chan Jiangguo is a generous and understanding man. I also thought this whole ordeal was over now. Life goes on as usual. But I've noticed that things aren't that simple at all. In the past few years, Chan Jiangguo will always be the first one to get up. He makes breakfast every morning when he gets up. But the next morning, I walked to the kitchen door. But only 2 breakfasts were there. He and his daughter each had a bowl of noodles. From beginning to end.
His gaze.
His movements. Even just out of the corner of the eye. Not a single second of it fell on me at all. I'm like an unnecessary outsider. Standing awkwardly at the kitchen door, at a loss what to do. At that moment, I truly understood. Some things. He says he's moved on, but in reality. But your love for me, he can never come back again. Preserved the family's dignity. Preserved what appeared to be a complete family in the eyes of outsiders. But he stopped showing me his favoritism, tenderness, and tolerance. The 3rd day of returning home, he took the family's bank cards and property deeds. Everything was locked away in his newly purchased fingerprint safe. Once, I went to the study to get scissors. By chance, I saw him opening the cabinet. On the very top lies the guarantee letter I wrote. Looking at that piece of paper, I suddenly felt cold all over. That wasn't something he couldn't let go of. That's what he constantly reminds himself to do. Stay awake. He can maintain the facade of a marriage, but they'll never again show me a single ounce of sincerity. Grandma noticed that something was off between us. Later, they would often come to my house to ease things between us. Grandma always speaks up for me, whether on purpose or not. Who hasn't made mistakes when they were young? Once it's changed, it'll still be a good day. Let's not be distant as a family. Chan Jiangguo's tone was very calm. Can't tell if they're happy or angry. Don't worry, time will go on just fine. This statement sounds like a guarantee. In reality, it completely draws a line between the two. He's telling everyone. He'll be a good husband. But that's all. I want to please others. Want to make amends, want to restore things back to how they were. But discovered in despair. I don't even deserve the right to get close to him. He quietly took them all back. The him of the past. It's someone who talks a lot. After getting home from work, fun stories from the workplace, neighborhood gossip, even the most trivial matters. He's always willing to stay by my side and keep talking nonstop. The home from those days, lively and bustling, full of the atmosphere of a lively market. But later he became completely silent. He went home. It's just about reading newspapers, taking care of flowers and plants, sitting quietly and daydreaming on the balcony. He doesn't chat. No talking, no joking. It's eerily quiet at home. The air is filled with a suffocating sense of alienation. To regain even a hint of his warmth, I'm becoming more and more humble. In winter, I simmered chicken soup for a full 4 hours, carefully brought it to him. Try to make your voice sound as gentle and natural. Drink it while it's hot, while the country is still being established. It's gotten cooler recently. But he was sitting on the sofa, not even lifting my head. Just replied casually, just leave it there. That bowl of steaming soup was placed on the coffee table. From scalding hot to ice cold. He didn't touch a single bite. Until the next morning.
He did it right in front of me.
Pour that bowl of soup straight into the sink where the vegetables are being washed. Once I was cleaning my room. A tea drink receipt fell out of an old bag. That was me and that male colleague of mine. The receipt from the only date I ever had. I was so scared that my face turned pale. The whole person froze in place. Too scared to move for a long time. I thought he would question me. He got angry, but he merely gave it a brief glance. There wasn't a hint of emotion in his eyes. He bent down to pick up the receipt. Then I just threw it into the trash can. His complete indifference, nonchalance. It's not because of trust. It's because I no longer care. A person who has given up, too lazy even to show jealousy or suspicion. Countless late nights. I passed by the study. Chun Jangwo is always seen sitting at his desk, looking through our photo albums from our youth. In the photo, I'm smiling like a blooming flower. We lean together, hug tightly. His eyes are filled with hopes for the future. He read very slowly and for a long time. There was tenderness in his gaze. There's also loneliness. After viewing the entire album, I'll also close it gently, push it all the way to the back of the cabinet. I know he didn't seal the photos. It's all the love and passion he has in his entire life. That photo album, it was he who held a memorial service for his own youth. Last late autumn, I suddenly developed acute gastroenteritis, vomiting and diarrhea, high fever that won't subside. Too weak to get out of bed at all. After Chun Jangwo got back from work, he discovered it. Go to the pharmacy to buy medicine. Help me boil water and take its temperature. They even brought plain porridge to my bedside. He did everything that a husband should do. Decent and considerate. Flawless. But at night, he didn't stay with me like he used to. He lay on the sofa in the living room all night. I heard faint breathing coming from the living room. Cried all night under repression. But he waited until dawn. Didn't even come in to comfort me with a word. Once I had a slight cold.
He would guard through the entire night.
Stay by your side every step of the way. Showing concern and kindness towards others. Now he's solely responsible for my life and death. Not responsible for my sadness. He only fulfills his responsibilities. Live up to sincere feelings. Today, our home seems complete, stable, and respectable. Strangers think we have a harmonious and happy relationship, saying we'll grow old together. But only we know that. This home, just a cold, soulless, empty grave. I wanted to get closer to him, but instinctively stepped back. I want to make it up to him. Total refusal. I recently celebrated my 40th birthday. After eating, the daughter is back at school. I finally couldn't help but ask her about the founding of the country. Since you already forgave me all those years ago, why can't we just live our lives properly? Why do you have to torment me like this? Chun Jangwo looked out the window. Empty gaze. The tone was calm, almost indifferent. The cracks in the heart can never be healed. At that moment, I truly understood this man. The most sober and cruel form of revenge. The highest level of letting go. It's not a fight. It's not a divorce. Let alone never having any contact with each other even in old age. But maintaining the shell of marriage, pull away all affection. He is responsible and decent, always putting the Jiu family first. Didn't break up the family. Didn't embarrass the child at all. Didn't let outsiders laugh at me. But he no longer loves her. The cruelest marriage in the world. That's more or less it. Spending the rest of our lives in the same room. Clinging together day and night. Yet remained estranged for life. On the surface, everything seems peaceful. Not a single blade of grass grows in my heart. True forgiveness. It's about letting go of the other person. Also, open a new one. And true despondency. Yet even hatred has vanished. I only see you as a stranger under the same roof. 1 week before marriage, my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend suddenly reached out to me, asked me to meet up. On my way to the appointment, I'm actually really torn. I don't know if he's trying to steal it. Why do people still have to expose such shameful secrets? From the very first day I was with my boyfriend, I knew this ex-girlfriend existed. After all, they've been together for a full 10 years. It could be said to be the entire youth of his boyfriend. The presence is simply too strong. Boyfriend's father, never accidentally calling him by his name by mistake. My boyfriend's mother also prepared his favorite dishes. Thought it was something I liked. These little things when piled up together. It's hard for me not to think about him. At that time, everyone thought they would definitely get married. Even if it's just a temporary break-up. In the end, after all these twists and turns, they'll get back together anyway.
And
It seems to be that great demon king who's standing in their way. Don't talk about others. For a while, even I thought the same way. When we first started dating, my boyfriend has clearly explained this past incident to me. Probably just having a love brain moment. At that time, I completely saw this as a positive trait. Thinking about a guy, to be able to remain devoted to a girl for such a long time, isn't that a good thing? Anyway, as long as it's completely cut off, that's fine. Who doesn't have some past these days? If everyone cares about it, then there's no need to live anymore. Sometimes I'm even a little grateful to that senior. Trained her boyfriend so well. The level of his attentiveness and consideration. Absolutely the benchmark among boys. At least they're way better than my ex. I can't even come up with a reason for it. But later I realized, I underestimated how profound the impact of these 10 years would be. As long as I type a few words on my boyfriend's phone, his nickname will automatically appear in the keyboard. He has some accounts and passwords that he doesn't use very often. It's all still related to his birthday. What worries me even more is some of his subconscious living habits. It seems to be tailor-made for him. For example, when he places an order, I'd blurt out and remind the boss not to add cilantro. But neither he nor I mind cilantro. I only found out later. It's him who hates cilantro. For another example, there are also, once he was driving a car. I hummed along with the music casually. When a song that's completely unfamiliar to me plays, he suddenly asked me why I wasn't singing anymore. Isn't this your favorite song? I told him very firmly that I wouldn't do it. He was stunned for a moment, embarrassedly trying to cover it up by saying I remembered wrong. But I know that's what he likes. To be honest, these are all trivial matters. So trivial that I feel there's no need to bother with it. But they're like a grain of sand that gets stuck inside a shoe. When you start to pay attention, the longer you walk, the more tiring it becomes. To be more precise, it felt like wearing a pair of old shoes. Although it fits perfectly, but it always feels like it doesn't really belong to me. It's hard not to feel resentful in such a situation. And the reason why they didn't break up, it must be said that it's because my boyfriend really tries hard. On the contrary, he would apologize very sincerely, then solve them one by one. He gave up using Android, which he had used for many years. Changed to Apple. He didn't keep any of the photos from the past. He even deleted the music software he'd used for years. It contains the song lists he's collected over 10 years. He said he wanted to be with me. Start everything over again. Over time, as we got to know each other better, indeed, the traces of him are visibly fading. I'm sure I'm not a replacement. But it's his true choice. This is also why I ultimately decided to marry him. So when I received his request to meet up, on the one hand, I'm really curious what he wants to do. On the other hand, it seems really stupid. Met the boyfriend's ex before getting married. Isn't this just making trouble where none exists? I've used it for so many years. It took a long time to get out of his shadow. But curiosity ultimately triumphed over reason. I still couldn't resist and went to the appointment. We met at a quiet cafe. He's thinner than I thought he would be. I'm actually more beautiful in person than in the photos. He isn't the kind of person who's pushy or aggressive. The tone is very friendly. As soon as she opened her mouth, she apologized for his rudeness. He said that after we started dating, his boyfriend completely cut off all contact with him. He really can't be reached. I can only reach out to you in this manner. The atmosphere was surprisingly relaxed. Not a hint of tension or hostility. Perhaps even because we're alumni. It's kind of like two senior and junior sisters in the process of exchanging lives. If it weren't for the inherent awkwardness of one's status, I feel like we could be friends. Just as I was guessing the reason for his visit, he took out a velvet little box from his bag, carefully pushed it in front of me. That's the reason he asked me out today. I opened the box with some surprise. What came into sight was an object that emitted a gentle, lustrous glow. A jade bracelet with a smooth and rustic texture. He looked at the bracelet. The finger hovered over the box for a few seconds. It's as though I'm saying goodbye to some unforgettable memory, he told me. This was worn by my boyfriend's grandmother on her wedding day. Gave him the bracelet before dying. Grandma told me that I must bring it along when I marry him. But I think he belongs to you now. Grandma couldn't let go of that silly boy, no matter what. The old man kept telling him to take care of things for him. Don't let him get deceived by others. He smiled. There's a hint of complicated resignation hidden in her eyes. He said he asked me out today. Actually, there's selfishness involved. But after meeting me, seeing how gentle I am, he was finally relieved. He believed that his grandmother's spirit was in heaven. Seeing this bracelet on my hand, I'd be happy too. At that moment, I understood. This meeting wasn't any kind of test or confrontation at all. This is his farewell to the past. It's also a solemn handover of responsibilities. Finally, he stood up and pushed the chair back against the table. When I turned around, he gave me a warm smile. Wish you all happiness. I sincerely replied to him. You too, after hearing that from him. Laughter followed by a soft sigh. Then it really depends on fate. The night after the wedding, I had a dream. In my dream, a kind grandmother sat on the edge of the bed. Smiling, he handed the jade bracelet to a young girl. Gently told them to be happy. Back then, he was the one who was blessed. But in dreams, the girl who took the jade bracelet became me. In my dream, I blankly asked my grandmother, "What about him?" Grandma smiled warmly. He said he also had his own happiness. You're all good girls. After waking up, my eyes are a little moist. In my heart, yet an unprecedented sense of peace and tranquility arose. Last Friday, the 20th, I saw his post in my friend's feed. In the photo, he smiles brilliantly. There's an extra ring on the ring finger. Above it, there's a simple line, a new chapter in life. If possible, I hope to tell him in my heart, Grandma also gave you her blessings. Please, be happy,